Man, Mountain Lab is so unfair with how many Ninjaneering spots you can put your teleporter to get behind enemy lines. It's ridiculous. So here is a handy-dandy ninja spot. The only problem is the enemy is in clear sight of this one. So what do you do? What do you do to make sure that you don't get caught with putting your teleporter all the way up here when enemies can be looking through the gate? Well, you don't really need to get... Dispenser, work with me here. You don't really need to get all the... God damn it, Dispenser. You don't really need to get all the way up here to put it, although it's a good spot if you can manage. Alternatively, you can just put it right here at the tip of the building, and it goes inside partially. Look at that. Can't hardly see it. Looks like part of the building. If they're not going up, they won't see it. And better part is, you don't have to be all the way up there where they can see you. You can do it just like that. They won't see you all the way. They might hear a teleporter. I mean, that dispenser won't be there. Dispenser will be gone. But they won't see it. They'll be like, what? Wait, I heard something, but do you see a teleporter there? I don't see a teleporter there. It's genius. Genius, I say. But let's say you want to go simpler. Let's say you're not very good at making jumps. Well, that's okay, because you know what you could do? You could just put a teleporter right in this little area over here. You could put it behind a car. Just make sure that the enemy's not looking your way, and bajangles. Well, let's say you're a pirate. You like putting things in water. Bam, you put your teleporter right in the water. They might be able to see just a little bit more, but you know what? It's in the water. Nobody's going to pay attention to a water teleporter. That ain't there. Nobody's going to look in this area and be like, I wonder if there's a teleporter here. No, it's silly because, you know, it looks like you're in the line of sight, but all you got to do is you grab all your ammo and stuff and you quickly be like, hey, are they looking? No? Alright. Drop it in and explode yourself. Boom. You know another spot you could put on first point? Boom. You can put it right there. You can put it on a shelf. Ain't nobody gonna pay attention. Like, who comes through here? Who comes through here be like, oh, I'm an enemy. I'm gonna look at this shelf right here to see if there's a teleporter. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna look there. They're not gonna be like, hey, I wonder if there's a teleporter on this shelf. Like, they're not gonna do that. Who's gonna look through here and be like, there's a teleporter on this shelf? They ain't nobody gonna do jack squat. Can I get up there? I don't know. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's not a thing you can do. If only you could. Alright, but let's say they're working on first point. There's no way you're going to be able to set up as an engineer and defend first point anymore, so you got to start getting to second. Well, I mean, the obvious one is right here, behind the roof, but the less obvious one is just, you know, back here. Hey, it seems simple, but how often are people going to go back there? Not very often. Does it work all the time? No. Against intelligent players? Heck no. That ain't gonna work. Or maybe look at that. You're looking at a distance. Can you see the teleporter? I can see the teleporter, but wait. If you go just a little bit closer, maybe you could see it. If you just go a little bit closer... Oh, there's a little red... Oh, there it is. There's a teleporter. Now, this one is a little bit riskier because, you know, a lot of engineers like to build at this spot when they're working at second. But if, you know, if they're just not observant and they're all going along that sky bridge and they're trying to cap it from there, they're not going to notice this. That's not going to be there. And of course, by that point, they're going to try and start moving on this way. You surprise them, you put a sentry there. They're like, whoa, sentry's not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be inside that building over there. That's okay. Man, Snowplow. Snowplow has some spots, right, Sentry? Yeah, it does. Now, you see, you're like, hey, I can't get on top of this box. I got a problem. Now, your Sentry, let's say you don't have a Sentry. Let's say you can't do that. Your Sentry's way over there. You're getting ready to defend the second point because you don't trust your team on the first point. So what you do is you actually put your entrance right there, and then you grab a box over here. You stay there, Sentry. You grab a box over here. You don't fail that jump like I did. You do that. You just go up right. You just go right up here. You use your teleporter as a little bit of height to get up there, and then you jump, and then you jump right there, you get on there, and then boom, you place a teleporter right behind this thing right here. Super smooth, nobody's ever gonna see or know about it unless they're a soldier specifically jumping up here to see and know about it. It's glorious. But let's say you want to be a little bit more cocky. Let's say you want to be just a little bit more cocky. Yeah. let's say you're getting ready to defend this point. You're getting ready, but you see that the enemy's coming in. You're like, oh no, I gotta do something. They're gonna destroy this sentry. There's too many soldiers with direct hits on those battlements over there. What do? Well, you just blast yourself to hell right up here, and you put a teleporter way up here. They ain't gonna suspect this spot for a while. Unless they're specifically aiming to suspect this spot for a while, they ain't gonna suspect it. If you play yourself like a stupid engineer, nothing bad's gonna happen. They ain't gonna look for that. Now, let's say you want to be a super dickhole about this. Let's just say you want to be the absolute scum of the earth, right? You don't want to put it up there because people looking at that. You don't want to put it at the other spot that I just told you up there because, you know, you want to be a little bit more forward. What if I told you to put it right where the thing is, this little explosion part? But you're like, hey, I can't do that right now. You're like, hey, Cosmic Afro, I'm trying to put a teleporter here, but I ain't got the room beneath me. How did you put a teleporter there? It just literally just like that. Just literally like that. Now, your first point, I'm gonna have to say you're sorry. There ain't really much you can do. You can put a spot, you can try and put it like right here where maybe people won't see it, but honestly, there's not a lot of really good things because they got a lot of line of sight. They can see a lot of what you're doing, so there ain't much that you can really do. You could try and put a teleporter up in that area, up in that room, and sometimes that'll work. Sometimes you just, actually, can I put one right underneath here? I can, actually. You can hide a teleporter underneath there if you really want. Chances are they aren't going to see that. That's a pretty good spot. I like that. I didn't even realize that was a thing. I love me some 2-fort. Now, let's say you are just one of the worst scumbag engineers ever, and you've abandoned your team, you're running through 2-fort, you're having a great time, their defenses aren't set up yet, or they have no defenses at all, it's a super scrubby team, or you're tagging along with a heavy and medic, and you're making a push, and you're just following through because you know as an engineer, this is an opportunity that you cannot pass up. They clear the intel room, you're right behind them, nobody's killed you yet. So, here's what you do. And I know this sounds weird, but here's what you do. You build your own sentry and your own setup in this corner right over here. You put your sentry down, you put your dispenser down. They're not defending this point. They're going after the intel yet, so there's nobody really coming in yet. And then what you do is you make them focus on this stuff so that when they see that these things are cleared, they're like, hey, we've gotten rid of the enemy nest, right? But what they don't know yet, is that you, being the mastermind genius that you are, you have very secretly put your own teleporter right there. It's right there, it's behind the desk. Nobody could see it. It's not there. They could barely see a glimmer right there. If they're coming through this way, they still can't see it. Because they're too focused on this. Their attention's gonna be turned to the right. So they get rid of your stuff, right? Your stuff goes boom. They've gotten rid of your setup. But look, your teleporter is still there. Now there's a few problems with this scenario. If they start building in this room, you're gonna be screwed. But on the off chance that they don't, I've had many shenanigans where I've built right there. And then I just drop another level 3 sentry because I built one right at the base, and then I go through a teleporter that I built, boop, pop one right in. Enemy team tries to cap with our intel, they can't because there's a sentry blocking them right there. Or, as I said before, right there. Keep your attention away from your teleporter. In fact, if you feel even ballsy, put your sentry right in this area. Make it so that they can't get in from either way that way. You could do it. It's possible. It's just really dangerous. But when it works, it feels so good. Believe in me, Mom. Believe... Nope. So close. Now, as many of you will know, Doublecross is one of my favorite maps of all time. It's just... there's so much room for environment kills. It's wide open. There's a lot of good chances for jumping and rock and blasting around. It's one of my favorites. Now, there's a few good spots for some Ninjaneering. Number one, you put the dispenser right on the edge there. And you'll know that I've used this in several videos now, but since it's in this one, I'm gonna put it there anyways. You put it right on the edge, you hop on top of your dispenser, you make a little bunny hop right there. Boom, you put your stuff down right there. And then, of course, you have all the time in the world because the enemy team, they very rarely look up there. They are very rarely gonna check up there. It's very visible, it's easy to see, but you have enough time to do it. Also, when you do it and when you get up here, the first thing I recommend you doing is exploding that dispenser so that number one, spies don't get up there, and number two, it doesn't draw attention to the fact that there is a dispenser right there and that they don't want to look up here. You don't want them to look this way, so you want to destroy that as quickly as possible. I know you're a cocky player, right? You really like to get into the dangerous spots. So what I recommend, now this one's a little bit dangerous. You're running through, maybe you went through the sewers. That's fine. You went through the sewer system, you cut across, there's no enemies here, you're blessing your luck. So you go through here, you pass through spawn, nobody's seen you. It's magical, it's mystery, it's capture the flag. That happens all the time. You place your teleporter right here. They're not gonna check there very often. They're just not. They're just not gonna look there very often. You put it there, and then boom, you're right next to the intel room. But chances are they're gonna have a sentry in here, right? So what you do is you counter sentry them. You put another sentry right here, and boom, you got your own little base here. The only problem is it's not gonna last very long because it's right next to their spawn. So you need to have a plan. You need to have a coordinated team, heavy and medic, jumping through that teleporter the moment you get it up. Level it up to 3 at your base. But it's possible. Everybody knows about this one. You put your little teleporter in there, boom. Like, hey, it's a little bit concealed, but it's right next to the spawn. That's dangerous, man. What are you gonna do? They could just open that door, shoot rockets at it. They don't even have to leave spawn. Your building, precious little baby that it is, it's gonna get destroyed. It's gonna get completely decimated. So what do you gotta do? You take that baby, you move it. You walk through this area. Now you're thinking, hey, putting it right here, what? That seems even more ridiculous. And you know what? I would agree with you. Except that people from this base, they're not going to check that area. They might go down the stairs, and you know what? They might check over here because this is common. But what they're not going to do is they're not going to look right here. Most of the time. Most of the time. Some people check it. Not everybody does. So they only check it most of the time. So they just run around this corner, they're like, no, nothing here. We're gonna keep moving that way. But little do they realize, boom, you're right there. Here's the situation. You just teleported right out of spawn, right? You got a level 3 sentry in your hands. Nobody's noticed you in the sewers yet. You're wondering where to put this sucker. There's a lot of dangerous places, but a place that you can do it that makes it inconvenient for everybody is you hop on top of here, you turn that sentry the way you want to face it, and you just plop it right. It's very tricky. It can be done, but it's very tricky. Boom, you put that sucker right there, right on top of here. Now you're like, hey, wait a minute, that looks a bit precarious. Now, number one, you're running in through here. Oh, automatically, you got a sentry that's on top of there. It's not on the ground, so you gotta actually aim for it. You gotta hit the ceiling, or you gotta hit it right here. You can't just aim for the ground as soldier. That makes it a little bit more difficult. Demos, too, especially since it'll catch you before you can catch it, because look, here's your gun right here. Here's your gun, but your sentry can see you before you do, so that's real problematic. And if you're a spy, you gotta try and jump up there and get it. It makes it real obvious that you're a spy, so you know how to defend it. Now, of course, you also got this problem. They're coming in from right there. Boom, sentry still sees you before you do. Here's your gun, here's you. Sentry turns, bam, blasts you right there. It's a good spot. It's a very defensive spot. I like it. It's a good place to be. So, you're on King of the Hill, right? You got a bunch of lights, you got a bunch of city things floating up above you, but you don't really know what to do. Well, I'll tell you exactly what you do. So, you're feeling adventurous, you're feeling dangerous, right? You're on the other team's side, you see blues right over there, but what you want to do is you want to find a secret spot to get your teleporter up so that you can harass the enemy team. I understand you. There's a couple of ways you can go about it. Number one, if you want to be super dangerous and you want to get it, what you do, you hop on this light right here, and then you hop right up here, boom, you're right up there. They might be able to see you, but it's very quick. You scurry your little butt right over here, you line it up with the middle of the bridge. Very important part, you line it up with the middle of the bridge right here. Alright, so I'm gonna pretend to be the bad guy over here, right? I'm on blue, I'm on Koth King, I'm ready to kill some fools with my rescue ranger, I guess. and I'm walking under this bridge. Guess what I don't see? That teleporter that's very secretly disguised right there. It looks like part of the lights right there. It looks so beautiful, you don't even notice it. You don't think to notice it. You don't even think. But, of course, if you go just slightly to the side, uh-oh, they can see your teleporter. But, well, look at this. If I'm a demo man, I gotta blow myself up to get there. I gotta hurt myself. If I'm a soldier, yeah, you rocket jump. If I'm any other class, if I'm a medic, I'm a sniper, I'm a spy, I can't get up there very easily. I gotta go out of my way to do it. Second way to do it, you don't jump on this one. I tried, don't work. You get right here, and then you hop right to here, and then you hop right to here. There's two ways to do it. Personally, I think it's more cool to be like Spider-Man. Aw, be like Spider-Man, jump on top of there, and then get on top of here. It's very nice. I like it. Now, Nucleus is pretty difficult, because in order to get to the good spots, you actually gotta wait until the point is available. So what you gotta do, it's pretty tricky. You jump up here, and then you get right onto this ledge up here. You grab your teleporter, you hop on top of these bars, you jump right up, you put your teleporter out of sight from enemy snipers. See, snipers, if they see you going up there, they'll know. They got the little sniper rifle, they'll do their best to try and hit it. And you know what? They can from a distance right over here. As you can see, if I can see it from right here, a sniper can see it from over there. So you have to think outside the box. You, sir, have to think, well, how do I counter that? But let's say you're a clever person and you need an alternative. That spot's not gonna work for you. Well, you get out of red spawn, you very sneakily get your sentry right over here. Very sneakily, truly. Now, if you can manage to pull this off, you can in fact build another teleporter up here. Actually, hold on. You could build teleporters up here on these roofs as well. If you can find a way to just hop onto this roof, place it right there, boom, you're golden, you're solid. You have entire coverage of the map. Now, you won't be able to get your sentry, because you won't have enough metal to build a teleporter and rocket jump up here. Alright. So here you are, you're in the jungle, you're in Borneo, and you're looking at this place and you're like, wow, look at that skybox, look at that magic. It looks very beautiful, right? It all looks very pretty. But what you're wondering is, how do I get behind enemy lines and stay behind enemy lines? How do I make sure that people don't notice me doing crazy things? Well, let me tell you, you got a couple of crazy spots here that can really help you out. Now, let's say I'm the enemy team, right? I'm running through here, I don't see a teleporter here. They're like, oh, you know, there's nothing going on. I jump through this hole, I go boom, look at that. But wait, if I back up just a little bit, what do I see? Bam, a teleporter right there. You just don't notice it if you're running forward, because that's what you're trying to do. They can sometimes see it. They can sometimes, because sometimes you're like, hey, I'm an enemy, I'm running through. There's a guy I'm shooting at, I drop through this hole. I drop down, oh, I see a teleporter right here. Better smack it to destruction. Okay, now, hear me out. Let's say for a moment that, hey, you know what? I don't want to hide a teleporter. I want to hide myself. And I want to put my sentry in a spot, like I want to defend myself right here. Look at this. I'm going to defend this area right here to make sure that they can't come through here. Smart thing to do, right? Very smart thing to do. So you get yourself on full health, and you do something that nobody expects. You get up here instead, and you hide yourself. You become the teleporter on top of these boxes. Nobody's gonna suspect it. Nobody's gonna be looking for an engineer all the way up here. You've become the secret, and you can't jump any higher. Like, I'm pressing the spacebar, it ain't working. But you hide yourself up here, you crouch down. Nobody's gonna look for you up here. And even better, you can hit your sentry from up here. They'll have no idea where you are. They think you're somewhere over there. It's beautiful. You hide yourself, you wait till the cart pushes past, and whammo, you got yourself a very secretive situation. Even more secretive is that you can get yourself right here. Not the best idea, because they'll know you're up here eventually, but hiding behind those boxes, you become the teleporter. So I'm the enemy team, right? I'm pushing the cart as hard as I can. My team is working together. We're getting this sucker to get ready for the second point. So where do you put your teleport from there? Where do you go from there? Now, hear me out. This one's gonna sound a little bit crazy, I know. But you're going to put it in plain sight of all the people right... Hold on, right there. Right there. Alright? You're gonna say, but Cosmic Afro, that sounds stupid. I cannot tell you how many times it has worked. Just having a teleporter right there, people just don't pay attention to that spot. I don't know why. They just don't. Now, there's a couple of other good spots in this area that you can put it, but I like that spot because their spawn eventually gets to over here once they push the cart far enough. So you hop in and you got a little sentry with you and you just lazily make your way over here. You got a good health pack and ammo pack right here. Boom, they're far enough along. You put this right here, you block them and spawn. You just block them and spawn. There's nothing they can do about it. So this is you. Your team's lost. You're on the second part of Hoodoo, right? You don't know what to do. So what you do is you hop with your sentry. You get right up here. You can place the teleporter right here. On this side. Right here. The whole point is that you get a teleport somewhere on this building where it's inconspicuous. And then, later on in the game, you know, you hop out of your teleporter, you grab your sentry, and you just put it right up here. And as they leave spawn, they're like, whoa, now there's a sentry right here. What? That's crazy. That wasn't there before. How do we get past that? It's also a really good starting sentry point as well. Keep that in mind. Because that sentry, if I recall, it covers those first few windows in the building, it covers that first corner. It forces the team to be on that side going through that exit. And if you communicate that with your team, they're going to have a very hard time pushing through. In addition, if you have a little wrangler, you just go... Oh, sorry, I forgot that you were there. This one random panel that does that. You just go... Boop! Bap! Bang! They boom, they go explode. You just put down your little dispenser there. You did it. You're unstoppable now. You're on top of the world. Oh, meant to blow myself up there. That didn't actually work out. You're on top of the world! Wow, I am terrible at blowing myself up. Here. Easy mode. But let's say this is you. Maybe you don't have a wrangler. Maybe you only have a pistol. Well, let me tell you of a spot. Let me tell you of a couple of things that you can do to alleviate your terrible situation and still Ninjaneer. Number one, teleporter back here. Not always the best, but it sometimes can work. It can sometimes go. Look at that. You put it right there. I mean, hey, they're gonna notice it. As long as they turn this corner. But sometimes people, like spies, are just like, whoop, I'm gonna go right through here. They're not gonna notice, they're not gonna look, they're not gonna see your teleporter. It's a little bit harder to do it, but you can still get through here because these guys over here, they're gonna focus on running that way. They're not gonna try and go to the side of this building anymore once they have the cart all the way up its second. So that's another thing you can do. But let's say you are red team and you just want to be the most evil person in existence. You just want to be absolute crap. Well, let me tell you, if you can manage to pull it off, if you can manage to get inside of this first room, that's not protected by spawn, by the way. Not protected by spawn. You can get in here and you can build stuff. You can build a teleporter right there. Perhaps explode yourself before they notice. And then, look, that looks like part of the track. It looks so beautiful. They're all focused on turning this way. They're all focused on, hey, I'm coming out of the door, I'm gonna go look this way. So they ain't looking at you. Your teleporter's right there. You grab your sentry, and you just very gently place the sentry right here, and you give them trouble for a little bit. It's not gonna last long, but it's gonna be funny. I'd still recommend the roof scenario, though. That's the place I would go. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this and seeing all the spots that I like to use as my favorites as much as I enjoyed making the video. I had fun. I hope you had fun. We have fun here. That's what we do. So, again, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned because more will be coming your way. Bye-bye. Ew, gross. Don't burp in front of me.